I really like Morecambe. I've made it my home, and my name here is Morecambe Joe. To the people that live here, everywhere I walk, it's like Morecambe Joe or Gypsy Joe. So those are the nicknames I have here, and I like it here because it's for boxing. There's not a lot of distractions, and I've made some good friends. And the reason why I'm here is because Tyson's here, and I was staying here with my family for a while earlier on in the year, and we had a great time here as a family. I've said that the first camp I had with Andy was a good camp, the second camp was better, and this is the best camp. And I've made this the best camp because of the challenge that's in front of me. Joe Joyce, big lump. And I brought in a chef, I brought in Andy Lee, I have Tyson Fury around, I've got my brother John Parker here, Paddy Donovan. I've made it a great team environment to be in, and I put in the hard work every single day. And I know that I've done everything I can to be in the best shape for this fight. So I've made it the best camp. As you can see, I'm glowing. I'm looking good, my hair's nice, black and thick, healthy. I think you're going to see a more improved Joseph Parker in the ring, because the first camp was just an introduction sort of camp with Andy Lee, learning a different style, trying new things. The second camp was a better camp, we added on to that, and we saw the improvements with the second Chisora fight. This camp, there's a lot more that he's added to my weapons. And when I go into this fight, I know that I can take care of business and beat this guy up. I think I'm going to be too fast, I'm going to be too quick, I'm going to have better movement than he does. And of course he's got this jab and he comes forward and he's got a good engine, but I'm prepared for that. And I brought in some great sparring partners to prepare for what he brings. When you surround yourself with champions, you have a champion mindset yourself. And I've always been strong-minded, but when I have Andy Lee and Tyson around and the whole team, I just keep building on that. I keep building on that, and I've done everything right. So going into this fight, I am fully focused and confident that I can get the job done. There's no doubts, there's no worries, because I've done the work. So when the fight comes, this lump is going to get a lump on his head. Joe Joyce has had a great amateur background. He's undefeated as a fighter. He's only been taken the distance once. So he's got that confidence, that unbeaten record, and he's got that confidence going into this fight. He's got a good engine, takes a good shot, and he throws a lot of punches. But I don't know how to beat him, and I'm going to be the first to beat him and give him his first loss. And it's okay, he can come back from that, and I'll beat him again in December.
There's a few things to pick up from that footage, which was supplied by Duco Events, as you can see on screen, which has been running throughout. But first, just want to clear away a couple of little admin things. Been getting a number of questions, especially from New Zealand. What's the pay-per-view arrangements? And this is now being confirmed. So Duco, in its press release where it had these different clips, etc., it's revealed Sky Sports is going to have the pay-per-view, $40, and in Australia it's going to be a Stan pay-per-view, also $40. So hopefully, if you're elsewhere, they're broadcasting it. I think in the United States it's going to be broadcast on ESPN Plus, I think, but you have to check your local guides, etc. In terms of Joseph Parker wrapping his camp, he sounds pretty happy, healthy, that it's been a good one, but I guess you would expect nothing less, because fighter rarely comes out ahead of a fight and says it hasn't been a good camp. But Joseph Parker, by all accounts from the different footage that's come out in recent months while he has been training in Morecambe with Tyson Fury and others, he has looked like he's whipped himself into really good condition. He looks in a good place mentally, lots of laughs and stuff online, and he seems to be gelling well with Andy Lee. And certainly that link up with Lee, it's going to be important for this fight, which is really the biggest test in recent years for Joseph Parker. No disrespect to Derek Chisora, but he was pretty shot-worn, and as we saw in that first fight, Joseph Parker had his issues. Came back, fought well in the second fight, beat Chisora up. Couldn't take him out, though. But you do have, for this fight, the third time with Andy Lee. They've got a few miles on the clock now, so they're saying expect improvements, and I guess the question is, what will they be? Certainly with this change of trainer in the past 18 months or so, you've had Joseph Parker and Andy Lee talking about the Kronk style, wanting to have more power, a little bit better technique, etc. So will the power be any better? Well, I'm not holding my breath. I do think that Joseph Parker will be more aggressive, perhaps not necessarily more powerful. But the one key thing, and I'm sort of dubbing this fight the work rate fight, because Joe Joyce, with his come forward style, he just keeps coming, and that can be mentally quite taxing on an opponent. The work rate fight, basically, where is Joseph Parker's fitness at? And we've seen over the last couple of months on social media a lot of clips with Joseph Parker, here's a couple as well, with Tyson Fury out running, doing road work, really putting the miles in. And he came into this camp and he wasn't, grossly out of shape or anything like that. He was ready to get in even better shape, but also focus on the tactics, the game plan, which I think we kind of already know how this fight's going to play out to some extent, because Joseph Parker clearly has a speed advantage. He moves well, and behind his boxing, he's probably going to have a lot of success early on and pick up some of the early rounds. But as I say, work rate. Joyce will keep coming. Parker notoriously does tire. So having as much gas in his tank as possible is going to be so important in this fight, because if Parker goes into his typical energy saving mode, which he sort of does from rounds about 5 to 9 and a lot of 12-round fights, he's going to be in trouble, because Joyce will just keep coming and probably start to pick up fights if Parker's activity drops off. And I guess another key thing is going to be the body work. Joseph Parker has got to go to Joe Joyce's body. He's got to chop that tree down just over rounds and really invest to the body to try and get some results later in the fight, because Joyce has been hurt to the body before, but as we know, with big men and gas tanks, trying to deplete an opponent, the body is certainly a very good way to go. And in terms of some of the work that Joseph Parker's been getting in camp, obviously Tyson Fury, he's training with him, but also Gunnar Kolbeinn Christensen, an Icelandic heavyweight, and also Nick Campbell. Anyway, Joseph Parker, he's going to have to show us that he can go 12 at a decent clip, because if he can't, it's got to be a hard night's work, because I think what's going to happen, he'll rack up some early rounds, and he's probably going to have to defend a lead late. And if he does deplete, then Joe Joyce will feel that he can take control of the fight, and who knows what could happen then. So I'm calling it the work rate fight, because Parker, he needs to have a full tank of gas to go all 12, and we'll see what happens. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.